The starter project is in the After Hours channel. If you guys want to follow along, like I said, you can download it. If not, the solution project will be posted. So I'll give everyone a few seconds there. We're just building a simple kind of collection view, but we're going to do it without touching the storyboard. I just want to show you guys what is possible with custom controls and sort of doing your own design through the code instead of using the storyboard and all that. You know, I think you can do some really cool stuff. I'm just going to show you sort of the tip of the iceberg. This code can be implemented 1,000,000 times if you want. You can, you know, fiddle with the numbers that I'll show you. There's not a lot of math in this. I did this on purpose because, you know, at first when you're doing these sort of constraints and custom controls and all that, there's a lot of math required in some of them. But that's not always the case, guys. So don't be too worried if you're not good at math or math has never been something you're fond of. I was never too fond of math. People think because we're into computers that we're good at math. That's not true. So I'll start here in about 30 seconds. And I'll kind of go over what is already in the code that I already have here. I provide you guys with sort of a few things, and I'll go over that.
I'm on baby duty, so I'm not going to be participating. I'm just going to watch.
No worries. I'll record it in post solution, so you guys should be able to go over it and use this as a reference. And again, you guys can implement this in many of your projects. I have already done this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what's already in here. So if you go to the storyboard, you can see it's pretty simple. I only added this just so we have some color, I guess, to it. I wouldn't even have to touch this otherwise in this label. But again, you can add that label yourself there. You can literally put it in there through the code like you've seen in the projects you've done. So all this is basically we're going to display our collection view here. And then we're going to have a segue that's going to perform. And we're going to do this all from the storyboard to the detail view of this collection view. So this should be in your model folder. I have it in the model controller folder. Don't move it to your model folder because for some reason, at least for mine, it won't be recognized. So I just put it back in the model controller file. But this should be in the model. And this is just a simple model of a mega yacht. And we're going to go ahead and initialize this in here. If you see in your assets, we have, I think, 8 yacht photos. All yachts you guys can buy with your iOS developer salary as long as you're not going into debt. And then here, it shouldn't take too long. Again, a lot of these times, these after our projects I do with you guys to show you what's possible in a short amount of time with some pretty complex, cool stuff. And again, all it takes a few repetitions and you got down pat and you know exactly what to do. So first here, and one of these we're going to do before the other, but I'm going to go through each one. Just like it says here, I have a few instruction labels for you guys as marks. We're going to create an array of the model with some given values. Then after that, we're going to, this is where this is going to be used first. We're actually going to create the private constant to create the collection view. And then in the setup subview, we'll use that collection view just created while setting up that subview. Then we're going to add the extensions for the collection view delegate and data source. And then we're going to actually create the custom cell. We may do this before the extension. We're going to create the custom cell to be used in our collection view. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
So I have a question right away. Where do those lines come from?
What lines?
The
above the, just from the mark.
Oh, okay. I never noticed.
It makes it easier to read code, and especially when you're like kind of submitting a project for an employer, employers going over your project, or even just other developers going through. It's really good to have these kind of marks and kind of letting people know. It's not necessary for everything, but maybe if you say like, hey, this is where I'm setting up my fetch request for this, or example, you know, it's however you want to do it just to make your code as clean and concise as possible.
Definitely. I use them all the time. I just never noticed that they made that line. That's
yeah, maybe whatever version of Xcode you're running, but we may be using the same thing. Yeah. So like the instruction says before.
Hey, Austin, if you click that thing and click Minimap.
Right, and then it can show the marks.
It'll show the marks. So it'll be
but even I use the marks and I have never seen the lines before. But I also have like set up my own custom like color themes, so maybe it took away the mark lines. I don't know.
Are the marks not showing up for you guys? Because my computer may be being hacked right now.
Yeah, they're showing up for me with the lines.
It shows up on my project, like on the one that I downloaded from you, but on my other projects where I have marks, it doesn't do that. So
maybe it's just the way it's written.
No, it's the same way that I write mine too.
Well, I don't put a space after the
I
slash,
think
but
your
I don't think
computer's
that
being
matters.
Right, guys. Right. We're definitely onto something here. Am I
Yes.
wrong? But I feel like we're onto something. We'll definitely come back to this, guys. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an array of the model with some given values. What do you guys think that entails? Because again, in a lot of these instructions, it's hard to maybe interpret what the person wants or the instructor wants. What do you guys think that means?
Well, where are the given values?
We're going to give it some values because we have our model and we're going to provide it, with price, name, all that.
I see.
So start something like this, let data. Then we'll open up some array back. It's going to equal an array of our model. So let's go ahead and go in here. Price use tabs, a lot easier. Then we'll just call our mega yacht, open it up there, and we'll just give this random stuff. I'm actually going to give you guys stuff to print here so we don't have to write all this out, just showing you how it's done. Then description, wow, price, sure. And then for the image, go ahead and type image, and the literal should pop up, and just hit enter. And I'm going to give you guys in the Slack channel stuff to copy and paste there so you don't have to write all this out. I'm going to put this
What did you do for image?
in the Slack channel. I just typed in image, and then the image literal should appear, and you should just be able to click it. It gives you the image you can actually click on without having to type in. But just don't click on any image. Just leave it just like that. And I'll put in the Slack channel here. Let me make it a text file. So you guys can just go ahead and stick that in there once it loads in. And it may print weird. You guys know how it does. You're copying and pasting from Slack. In fact, it may give you an error with that image literal. I'm not sure if it does. We may have to type this out. All right, cool, it doesn't. I'll just give you guys a few seconds. So it should look something like this. Now, the first time I did this, I didn't click these image literals. So I'm not sure if it's because I ran the app and it stored these in there for my previous app, why it's in there. So don't worry about that right now. Again, just leave those blank. All right. Is everyone good with that? All right, so now we're going to create the private constant to actually create the collection view itself. We're going to make this a file private. So I'll say file private, let the collection view of type UI collection view equals, let's open that up there.
What does the file private thing do?
File private is just in this file you can use it. If it's just a private, it's only used in the scope of the entity. So let me actually send you a good little reference on that. Post this as well in the Slack channel.
So if you use private, you can only use it within the class, and then file private, you can like use it like in extensions.
You can use it in the entire file.
Okay.
And that link there is what I basically reviewed just to make sure I was telling you guys the right thing. But most of the time, like it says in that article, you just use private. In most use cases. So let's go ahead and make the layout of the collection view. So let me give me some space here. And we'll say let layout equal a UI collection view flow layout. And this is going to add the grid, and it will fit as many cells in as allowed. Then after this bracket here, I forgot, I just add that in there. Then we're going to add the scroll direction. So we're going to say layout dot scroll direction equals dot vertical. And this is one of the things I'll add a comment that you can go back and adjust. So I've used this custom collection view to make things such as like news apps where you can like scroll above and click on news articles and stuff like that. There's a lot of possibilities with these collection views. It's just yelling at us because we're missing a return. Don't worry about it for right now. Here we're going to make another constant. We're going to say let CV collection view equal, oops, hold on, let me move my computer. All right, sorry. So let CV equal UI collection view. We should be able to give it a frame and a UI collection view layout. And the frame will make 0. And the collection view layout will just make it that layout. And then don't forget to do the translates auto resizing mask. So we'll say CV translates auto resizing mask into constraints equals false. Now let's go ahead and register the cell we're going to use. So we're going to say collection view dot register. I'll just type it out here. And you should be able to find one with 4 cell with use identifier. And right here, we're just going to give it a generic UI collection view cell. And we're just going to give it a simple identifier of cell. Then let's go ahead and return this collection view. I wonder if that's what was yelling at me. Actually, we'll just go ahead and do this now so that I don't complicate things. Type in custom cell here that we're going to create and say custom cell.cell. We'll just go down here, that custom cell. Now this is going to be kind of the longest bit of this. So let's go ahead and make a class. Call it custom cell of type UI collection view cell. There's a few things we need to do in here. So first, let's make computed property. So we're going to say var data of type mega yacht, your model optional. And we'll just add a property observer of did set. Let's make sure we have that data. Else return. We'll just leave that for how it is right now. Don't worry if it's yelling at you. Let's go ahead and make another file private. We'll call this BG for background. This will be the UI image view. We're going to do some work in here. So I'm going to say I'm just going to give this anything, you can call it whatever you want, just doing an IV for 4. So we're going to say let IV equal UI image view. Then we're going to say image view dot image. equals image literal. And now I want you guys to click on this and just click on any boat picture. Doesn't matter which one you click on. Then we're going to say image view dot translates auto resizing masking to constraints equals false. Now let's make the content mode. So we're going to say image view dot content mode. Let's make it scale aspect fill. Is it really going to yell at me if I do? So go ahead and just put the open parentheses at the end. Thought it would let me get away with that, but it would not. Let's also make sure that image view is clipped to the bounds. So we'll say that's true. And then let's go ahead and add a corner radius. And to get to the corner radius, we have to get to the layer of the image view. So we're going to say iv.layer and then do dot corner radius equals 15. Let's go ahead and return that image view. I'll give you guys a second. Then we'll go back up into this property observer for the computed property. And here we're just going to say the background dot image equals whatever image is in the data that we're unwrapping. So now the data's image is going to be assigned to the background's image that we have set up here.
Austin, is line 67 basically, I'm sorry, line 78 basically like a placeholder image?
Yeah, for some reason it yells at me whenever I don't click on an image. I don't know why. Like I was going to leave that blank and maybe I will just to show you guys. I still have not figured out why. So this won't actually give whatever image you set. This is going to set it. But again, I did not even add this to that. I think this is only doing this because when I ran my code in the solution project that I copy and pasted these values from, that it stored those in there when I clicked on each one or whatever the case may have been. So if you guys left these empty, that should be fine as long as you have something in here. I'll try it with it and then without it just to see what happens. Let's go ahead and add our frame.
It may be a sizing issue, like it gets the size from the image. So if you have a really small image in there to get the wrong size.
Oh, right. Yeah, I really have no clue. I'd love to know why. I've been having to deal with that for probably about 3 months now. So let's go ahead and say, let's make an override initializer.
I have a quick question. You might have answered it already. I'm sorry, but and like line 78 with, I know CC said it's like a placeholder, but do you have to use like that little like image, or can you write it out like with code itself?
I mean, you could write out with code itself. I just typed out image little just to make it easier. You could grab the resource name of the image, similar to how we did in the After Hours project for regular collection views. I believe we just used getting I think it was the URL from the image.
Okay, or just go through or grab the name of it through the assets folder.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to override the initial frame and create our own. So we're going to say super.init. I believe this will take in a frame. And here we're going to add the background as a subview to the content view. So we're going to say content view dot add subview BG. But we're not done yet. We're almost done. We're not entirely done. Now let's just constrain this. So we're going to say BG dot top anchor dot constraint is equal to the content view and its top anchor. Make sure you say dot is active equals true, otherwise it will not be used. Let's go ahead and give it a leading. Give it a leading constraint equal to the contents view leading anchor, similar as above. Let's give it a trailing anchor. Again, it's going to be equal to the content view. Not trait collection. Let's go ahead and add a bottom anchor. And that's going to be equal again to the content view's bottom anchor. Then just like it's yelling at us for, Phil, yell at me again, thank you. You can just go ahead and hit fix. I'll give you guys a second for that. I'll explain this. So in this class of the custom cell, we have basically set up the entire cell. We're going to grab the data from the model, and we're going to assign its image to the background image that we're using down below in the file private let, where it says background of type UI image view. We're then going to initialize our own frame and add that image inside of that frame and then constrain it. And that was probably the most code we will have to write this entire project. And now if you scroll up, this should stop yelling at you. Because now we're going to register our own custom cell that we just created.
It's still yelling at.
Why is it yelling at you, Toby?
It says unable to infer complex closure, return type, etc., etc.
Which line? For mine, would it be for yours?
If you scroll up, it's the file private let collection view.
Do you have this afterwards?
I do.
Do you have everything exactly right like this?
Yeah. Let me just. Oh no, sorry. Typo. My bad.
No worries. Because I want to show you guys how simple this can really be. I know at first this seems like a lot, but after you've done it 3 or 4 times, like I've always said, it really becomes pretty simple. And again, you guys can use this in any of your projects, your build weeks, build upon it, do however you want, make the collection views, whatever you want to look like.
Actually, sorry. Even with the typo, it's still giving me the same thing.
It's giving you the same error. On what line is it yelling at you?
On your line 39, yeah, and it's saying the same thing.
All right, we'll take a look at it afterwards.
Cool.
Just leave this how it is now. It should be really relatively easy for us to go back in and fix. Everything else should be pretty simple to type out. Then we'll take a look at right after and make sure we get it running.
All right, no worries.
We're almost there anyways. So now let's go ahead and go into the view did load. And we're going to set that collection view up. So we're going to say view.addSubview, collection view that we created below. We're going to say, now let's constrain it. So we're going to say collection view top anchor constraint equal to the view's top anchor. And let's go ahead and give it a constant of, let me say about 160 to be safe. And dot is active. And we're going to go ahead and do this for the top anchor, leading anchor, trailing anchor, bottom anchor. So let's go ahead and go collection view, dot leading anchor. Yeah, I did the top anchor, I'm getting confused here. Dot leading anchor, constraint equal to, very repetitive stuff, guys. Repeat. We're going to have a constant of 10. Go ahead and make that as active. And again, this is something I want you guys to go back whenever you have spare time, whenever you're building this same exact project for the repetitions, and change all this stuff. These are the only numbers we can kind of mess with, as well as maybe down below when we're using the delegate flow layout. But you can just really see how creative you can get with this. So let's go ahead and do the trailing anchor. Again, not trait collection. It's going to be equal to the view's trailing anchor. And let's go ahead and give this a constant of -10 just to make it even. Autocomplete is very slow. Oh, that's why. And the bottom anchor. We're going to constrain that equal to the view.bottom. And I don't believe I want this to have any constant. Again, I know I said it, but I'll say it again. I really insist you guys going back and adjusting these numbers and seeing what it does. That's sort of the name of the game with this stuff, especially with like CG points and all that. You basically just have to type it in and see what you get.
Wouldn't it be preferable to use the view's safe area layout guide?
Indeed. One of those things you can go out and try. Good thinking. So now in here, what we want to do is going to say, maybe I'll come back to that. But actually, one last thing before I move on to the next thing. Let's go ahead and make that background clear because we don't want any color on this collection view. We don't want it to look ugly. So we'll say collection view dot background color equals clear. Just going to give you a clear background color. And let's go into the basically last thing. Create an extension of your view controller using the collection view delegate and the data source. Don't forget the data source. All right, guys. So go ahead and make an extension of our view controller. We're going to make it of type UI collection view delegate flow layout. It's a mouthful to say, I know. UI collection delegate. You're making type this out, aren't you? Delegate flow layout. And then let's go ahead and give it the data source. So UI collection view data source. It's going to yell at you, don't worry. You can hit fix if you'd like. Would be a lot easier. I'd highly advise it. And once you do that, let's go ahead and enter a few times. And above here, we're just going to type out collection view flow layout, I believe it is. Maybe it's just layout. It's going to return a CG size. This is the other part where we're going to use some quote unquote numbers, some math, but not quite too complex. So what we want to do here is let's go ahead and return CG size. And in that CG size, we should have a width and a height. And for the width, let's go ahead and grab the collection view. And let's basically divide by its width each time for its height and width. So we're going to say frame dot width divided by 1. And then the height is the collection view dot frame dot width divided by 2. That's going to give us a nice long slender collection view layout. Again, I advise you guys to go back in here and mess with these numbers, see what you can get. You can create some really cool stuff. All right, for the number of items section, we're just going to go ahead and return that data dot count. Simple, quick, easy, painless. And here, let's give ourselves some space. We're going to say let cell equal collection view dot DQ reusable cell with identifier. Let's go ahead and give it the identifier we named above. Just cell for the index path. And let's go ahead and force downcast this as that custom cell we created. Just because I don't feel like guard letting it unwrapping. And now we're going to say let service. Actually, I'm going to say service yacht. Let's call it a yacht. Let yacht equal that data and its specific index path dot row. And we're going to say cell dot data equals that yacht. We'll go ahead and return that cell. Now we just need to do the segue. So go ahead and type out prepare for segue override func.
You had it before. It was in the. It was like the second one down. Third.
Here we go. Thank you, Kenny. So we're going to say if segue identifier is equal to, let's go ahead and go back there and check that identifier set. Just because at times I have the memory of a gnat. So let's go ahead and command copy that. Go back to the view controller. Go in here. There we go. Just so we're absolutely certain. Go ahead and unwrap that index path. Next path for selected items. Dot first. Dot item. Then we're going to do another let yacht view controller equal to segue dot destination. Oh, do we not have a detail view? Oh, I thought that was in the code. Let's go back and go to the storyboard. Let me just make sure. I thought I put the detail view in there. I suppose I didn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in our view, hit Command N, Cocoa Touch class, type view controller. We'll call it yacht detail view controller. Hit next. Hit create. Go back here. Yeah, detail view controller. Return. I'll give you guys a second to create that file.
You have segue.description there instead of destination.
Oh, oops.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I'm not the best fast typer. I'll tell you that right now. Don't put a gun to my head and tell me to type fast because I'll fail. So let's go ahead and say let the selected yacht equal the data with the index path. Then we're going to say yacht view controller mega yacht. It's just going to yell at you, I know. And then just say equals that selected yacht. I think it's not going to autocomplete for you. So let's go ahead and go in that yacht detail view controller. Oh, that's right. So now let's go back to the main storyboard. I did not add this stuff. So let's go into the UI elements. Let's grab a label. I'm not going to make this too pretty looking. So go ahead and stick that up top. Actually give this 20, just in case the name is longer. So we're going to go ahead and grab a label. Let's take out a image view. Stick it right there. You can just constrain it right away if you want. I'm just doing this for effect. Go ahead and constrain that. Give it a height and a width. Go ahead and bring out a text view. Drag it there. Boom. Stretch it out. Bam. Go over here. Attributes inspector. Background. Make it the color of the actual view. Go in here. You can delete this. We don't need that. Hit enter. Actually, I'll just type details. Go ahead and constrain that. Lock it in place here. I'll give you guys a second. I know it really quick. I apologize. And I forgot I think it's price. I think we have a price, I believe. So what I'm going to do is actually delete this top anchor to this text view real quick. Drag this down. Let's gonna yell at me. I just forgot to add the price, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the price in there. And I'm gonna lock that to the image. I'm gonna go back here. Of course, let me give it a new height and width. So I'm just gonna give it that top anchor and then let storyboard fix it because we don't really care. No, you don't add that for me? Okay. Just gonna make this easier on myself. All right. I'll put that description back in there so people know they can type in it. I'm gonna give this a generic name just so we know. Yacht name. Go to this label, give it a price. Price. Hold Option click your yacht detail view controller. Let's go ahead and connect these outlets. I'm gonna give this that class name if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and grab this yacht name label. Yacht name. Grab the image. Control drag. Make the outlet for the image not in the view to load. Just gonna give myself some space here. And just do this for each outlet. Text view. And the price. And I'll give you guys a second to finish that if you haven't already finished. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a variable for our optional model and make sure we can pass that along. So wait until everybody wraps up, unless you guys are working on something else. All right, so let's go ahead and go into that yacht detail view controller if you're not there already. Let's make a variable called mega yacht of type mega yacht optional. Go ahead and hit Command B. That error at the top should go away for you. In the update views, in the view to load, it's called update views that we haven't created yet. And we'll go here and we'll say func update views. Let's go ahead and unwrap our mega yacht. I'm gonna go ahead and assign those labels to it. So we'll say yacht name dot text equals mega yacht dot name. Yacht name, not yacht name, yacht image dot image mega yachts image. I feel like you guys probably know how to do the rest of this update views here, but I'll do it with you guys anyways. Then we're gonna go ahead and get the price. We're gonna say price label dot text equals the mega yachts price and the details. So the details views dot text equals the mega yachts description. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that. So what do you guys have? If you go ahead and run it.
Select the mega yacht and nothing.
Good, good. Everyone else on the same page? I'm gonna assume so. So what are we missing? Can anyone guess? I know it's gonna be kind of difficult. Kind of just threw you into this. But there's something we're missing in particular. I'm floating around here for a reason. Who's gonna grab it first?
I know what it is. It's the thing I always forget.
It's the thing we always forget, Kenny.
Assigning the delegates.
Exactly, and the data source. So we're gonna say collection view that delegate equals self. Same with the data source. Good job, Kenny. Collection view data source equals self. Now go ahead and run it. I'm going to share my simulator. Can you guys see my simulator?
Yeah, so I had a problem with mine where I had to put images where the image name call is. I couldn't use that placeholder. It's an editor placeholder in file. And so it's assigning whatever image I put in there to the collection view.
And which one? Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at.
In the data array. You know where you said don't click on it and pick a ship.
Right. Well,
I had to. It wouldn't. It just said it said editor placeholder in file until I assigned the images.
Oh, in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. It was going to yell at you guys because I copy and pasted it. When I did this, it did the same thing for me. So I literally had to type it out myself. I tested it before I did this with you guys. Knew it would probably happen. The only other way around that is literally go into each one and basically just, create a new mega yacht for each one. You'd have to go by, sort of do something like this. So I'll show you. So like Zeus. Hello. Goodbye. Image literal. And you have to do that for each one. And then maybe to make it easier, just add a comma, copy that whole thing, paste it.
Right, but now if you build, try to build. Placeholder. See, that was what I got. So I had to assign an image. And whatever image I assigned is the one that it put in the collection view. It's not dynamically assigning the images.
Weird, it should be doing that. My assumption was just that because that copy and paste is grabbing that image literal. Let me try to figure this out. We still have to do the segue, so if you guys aren't segueing, it's okay, I know. Interesting. Yeah, I'll show you guys a solution code right after we're done here. Maybe we can try to see what's causing that. I really like to get to the bottom of weird stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. We'll do one last thing here. So can anyone tell me why it's not going to our details view controller?
Didn't you just
Segue.
say that we didn't do the segue?
Is this still yelling at me? We did the segue, but what didn't we do with the segue? We didn't perform it. So let's go ahead and type out, let's select item. So when we select an item in the collection view, we're going to perform a segue with the identifier, show yacht segue. The center is going to be that index path that's selected. And then go ahead and build and run. Let me share my simulator again. So does anyone have any issues?
Will you go back to your update views on the detail view controller, please?
Yeah, no problem.
Is that segue identifier?
In the detail view, you said, CC?
Yeah. Ah, typo. Thanks.
Usually the cause. Same with you, Kenny. I'm assuming typo in the segue.
Oh no, I just needed the identifier. I've got it though. I was just muttering to myself, really.
Oh, all right. Toby, you got something on your mind?
Nah, it's working all good. I just thought it's interesting. Most of them are named by Greek gods, and yeah, well, no, I'm all good.
Yeah, I'd hope that all of you aspire to own one of these one day. If you don't, you're letting me down.
It costs too much in Chicago for me to have one, so not gonna happen.
We'll get you a tugboat. I'm not sure what they have in Chicago.
It's not about how much the boat costs, it's how much the bay costs. Like, just for you to have your boat inside of the Lake Michigan, like harbor area, it's like anywhere between 15 to 30,000 a year.
Jesus, but for a tech billionaire like you, that's nothing. Come on. Stop thinking small, guys. We're here to take over the world. We have the one job that you may be possible of doing that. Develop whatever you want. Get some machine learning there. Develop a game that everyone uses. You know, create the next Flappy Bird. Do whatever you got to do to get yourself a $100 million mega yacht. Because you guys really happy with that one? I mean, I'm not.
Neither am I.
So I want to show you guys.
So you also live in Florida, so that doesn't.
Exactly.
You can enjoy the weather all year round. I have to enjoy it's like 35 degrees right now, so.
Yeah, in fact, I sort of send a hope up to you guys every night that are in the northern states, because if I'm feeling how I am down here in 60 or whatever degree weather it is, I mean, man, I don't know how you guys are surviving. I don't know what it's like in London either, Toby, so.
Yeah, it's quite cold at the moment, but yeah, I'm used to it.
You're building your fires, you're getting through it, you're harboring wood.
When you grow up in Chicago, and I tell this to my fiance all the time, because like I said, she was born in Mexico and I was born up here. I'm in a long sleeve shirt and I'm perfectly fine. But she's all bundled up and she's like trying to keep warm. The baby's all bundled up, so it just depends. Like, I grew up in this weather, so I'm okay with it. I can handle it.
Hey, same with Eskimos, brother. But if I went up there, I'd probably die in about a day and a half. My skin would fall off like a lizard in negative 0 degree weather. So what I wanted to show you guys in this project, and I know a lot of these are kind of quick and I do these really fast, but I sort of want to show you guys that you can set this up relatively quickly and make this however you want. I really want you guys to go back into this project and sort of tweak the numbers, adjust everything, do whatever you want, make the collection view background color different. You know, you can make the cells however you want. You can make them circles. You can do whatever. I really want to see you guys have, and in fact, I'd love by the end of the week or next week if you guys have one in and done something yourself that you can share it in the after hours channel of hey, look what I did. I went back and made them all circles, or I went back and I made them the way that my build week project was. Because your sprint challenge is going to be pretty difficult. But at the same time, I want you guys to know this is possible. It just takes these repetitions. And again, I'm going to post this in the After Hours channel, the solution and the recording. So that's basically all I have for this.